What's going on, YouTube? So as you probably know, the Honda CR-V and Toyota RAV4 have had an intense rivalry going on for many years now. So when the RAV4 introduced a hybrid version several years ago, you knew that Honda would follow eventually. It took longer than most expected, but a CR-V hybrid has finally made it to the US for 2020, meaning people can now compare them apples to apples once again. So that's exactly what we're going to do, starting now. So to get things established here, let's quickly talk about the pricing and option levels of these two. As close competitors, the pricing structures are similar as expected. So starting with the new CR-V hybrid, we selected the top trim option, Touring. As many of you know, Honda doesn't really do options, so adding just the destination charge will bring us to a total of $37,070. Keeping things equivalent, we have the RAV4 Hybrid Limited, which is a little bit more expensive to start. After factoring in destination and a few accessories, the total rings in at $38,150. That makes the prices very similar. So with that in mind, let's see how they stack up. So kicking off things with the exterior designs, neither changes a whole lot when switching to the hybrid powertrain. Both keep their typical designs, with the exception of blue badging in the front. However, when it comes to the lighting, both have some differences compared to the gas models. The headlights are fully LED on both crossovers, but you'll notice that the fog lights are halogens on the Toyota, instead of the hybrid exclusive bar design LED fog lights on the Honda. Around back, both have premium looking designs, with partially LED taillights and chrome accents, but only Toyota gives you the dual chrome exhaust outlets even on the hybrid. Additionally, it is worth mentioning that the Toyota is rated to tow up to 1,750 pounds, while it's not recommended that you tow anything with the Honda. Now moving on to some of the other features like the wheels. You'll find new 19-inch contrast alloys on the Honda, but 18-inch chrome finished alloys on the Toyota. And as far as the mirrors, they both have heating and power adjustment, as well as blind spot monitoring with rear cross traffic alert. Now of course, for family crossovers, you'll want more than just BSM. So you'll be happy to know that both crossovers have the very comprehensive safety suites that include full speed adaptive cruise control, lane keeping assist, forward emergency braking with pedestrian detection, and auto high beam headlights. However, the RAV4 even throws in a few additional ones, bicyclist detection and lane tracing assist. And the last thing on the outside is that they share 3-year 36,000 mile bumper to bumper warranties and 5-year 60,000 mile powertrain warranties. But Toyota does give you 2 years of complimentary maintenance, which Honda does not. But anyways, now let's head into the cabins and see which one best serves the needs of your family. So heading up to these two, both crossovers have smart entry with nice key fobs. However, only the CR-V includes remote start from the fob permanently without a subscription. Once we open up the doors, you'll see spacious and well-equipped interiors. Our Honda has a gray and black color scheme, and our Toyota comes with a limited exclusive gray and nutmeg color combo. Checking out the seats themselves, the RAV4 gives you 8 ways of power adjustment, while the Honda goes for an impressive 12 ways, including 4-way lumbar. Additionally, you'll find real leather on the seats of the Honda compared to Toyota's Softex faux leather. And both seats are heated. Once inside the cabins, the first thing to check out is the material quality. Starting with the CR-V, it gives you all soft touch materials even on the upper portions. There is also some stitching as well as some faux wood accents throughout on the Touring. Switching to the Toyota, it also has soft touch materials across the entire dashboard with stitching and solid feeling materials. So overall, I'll have to call them even. And then looking at the gauges, both Honda and Toyota give customers premium 7-inch digital setups on these upper trims. Heading back to the steering wheels, both are leather wrapped and manual tilt and telescoping. However, only the CR-V has a heated steering wheel at this price point, while the RAV4 requires an extra weather package. Now moving on to one of the other important interior aspects, let's talk storage. Honda always does something cool with the center consoles, and this is no exception, with a sliding tray that allows the center storage to be at least twice as big as the RAV4's. Once in front, both have another generously sized bin, but the Toyota fights back by giving you a large storage shelf, which is something that the Honda doesn't have. So overall, I'd have to say that storage is roughly equivalent. Checking out the shifters, the Toyota has the same one as the gas model, while the Honda switches to an electronic push-button shifter. When in reverse, both have regular backup cameras as equipped. RAV4 can technically get a 360-degree camera, but it would require an additional advanced technology package that this model doesn't have. Next up, we have the dual-zone automatic climate control systems. Functionally, they are the same, but the RAV4's is more ergonomically sound, since the CR-V makes you use the touchscreen for some of its functionality. As far as audio systems, both have the upgraded ones, but the RAV4's is branded and sounds substantially better. Now let's quickly check out the infotainment systems. First of all, the screen is an inch larger on the RAV4, at 8 inches versus 7 inches. And also the Toyota gives you the newest version of their Intune system, while the CR-V still makes do with an older and slower version of Honda Link. Otherwise though, they both have integrated navigation and both Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. Both models have auto-dimming rear-view mirrors, but the RAV4 Limited throws in a cool rear camera mirror system. And finally, both have regular-sized moonroofs as equipped. Heading to the rear quarters, both models are undisputedly spacious, but the CR-V continues to be pretty much the best option in the class. It has 40.4 inches of legroom and 39.1 inches of headroom, compared to 37.8 inches for legs and 37.7 inches for heads in the RAV4. After getting in, you'll notice that both give you nice air vents as well as smart charging USB ports for both people. Moving out back, both have power tailgates, but only the CR-V includes foot activation standard, while the already more expensive RAV4 makes you pay extra for that feature. However, once inside, the placement of the electronic componentry means that the normally more spacious CR-V is actually smaller than the RAV4 in hybrid form. Its space is reduced to 33.2 cubic feet with the second row in place, and 68.7 cubic feet with it folded. The RAV4 has about 12% more space with the seats upright, but its advantage is less than our 5% point threshold with the seats folded. It's also worth mentioning that since the RAV4 has its batteries underneath its rear seats, it is able to keep a spare tire back here. And the last thing to discuss is that the CR-V gives you a power passenger seat, which the RAV4 does not. So heading out onto the road, it's very interesting just how different these two hybrid vehicles are. While I won't delve into the engineering, the ways that their hybrid systems work are very different from each other, and in real-world driving, you can feel the difference. As far as power is concerned though, they produce very similar numbers, with the RAV4 making 219 horsepower and the CR-V 212 horsepower. So that's our first acceleration here in this all-new 2020 CR-V Hybrid. Initial thoughts, the acceleration is pretty good.
Yeah.
Just by the seat of my pants, it definitely feels like it's more powerful than that standard 1.5 liter gas engine, and indeed it is. So there's 60 miles an hour. I have to say, takeoff is pretty good. Just like the gas-powered model, this actually feels like one of the more powerful offerings in the class. Now this hybrid model is actually more powerful than the gas-powered model by 16 horsepower. It has 219 total system horsepower. And it is using a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder engine, naturally aspirated, paired with a nickel hydride battery and electric system. Now while they feel roughly the same as far as acceleration is concerned, the delivery is very different. In the RAV4, after about 20 miles per hour, the gas engine kicks in, which is paired with a continuously variable transmission. In the CR-V, its hybrid design means that the engine acts as a generator mostly, so even when the engine kicks on, the car is still operating as if it were an EV. What that means in the real world is that you feel the handoff less in the CR-V. Now when you take off gently, I have to say you really stay under electric power for a long time, and that's one of the things Honda specifically pointed out. This hybrid system is similar to what's in the Accord hybrid, but they've made some enhancements, and that's one of the enhancements is just the ability to stay under that electric power for longer and in more situations, and you can really see that at work. Taking off you can get up to a pretty good speed, like usually what I've seen is like 25, even a little more in certain situations.
At one point we got to like 30-ish.
Right, but take a look. Right now I'm in EV mode, and I'm going 36 miles an hour, and that's because the not only under acceleration, but it can also go back into electric power when you're with really light throttle already underway. So you can be going at high speed and still be on that electric power. So it really, that's pretty impressive, and that's quite a bit different than other hybrid vehicles that we've driven. Another advantage of the Honda hybrid system is that the engine, when it is running, is quite a bit quieter.
That's one thing that I definitely want to, touch on here. This compared to RAV4 hybrid, this 2-liter Atkinson cycle 4-cylinder is a lot quieter than the RAV4's engine. So when it does switch over, it's almost imperceptible for when it switches.
It's on right now?
Yeah. See, you barely can hear anything.
Now I'm checking off gently here. I'm trying to get us seeing kind of where the line is, where the engine kicks in. Yep. Looks like it's about 20 miles an hour, so actually, so long as you don't really hammer down on the throttle, out in the city driving and stuff like that, you can reasonably stay in the electric mode quite a bit. Now as far as other driving characteristics, both have fantastic ride quality, as well as surprisingly nimble handling. However, by the seat of my pants, the RAV4 has the sportier handling and the better steering. Now the positive attributes from the gas-powered model do carry over to the hybrid, and including within that is the handling. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Toyota's TNGA platform and their new steering setups are really, really good. This is one of the most natural and nice feeling steering setups in a crossover in this category. It's really responsive. I mean, look at that. Just a little turn off center and you have immediate response. That's just super uncommon for this type of vehicle, which is just known for having totally dead steering. And perhaps most importantly for fuel economy, the RAV4 edges out the CR-V, 40 MPG to 38 MPG combined, though both are absolutely exceptional for being crossovers. Finally here, I want to mention value. Even missing some options, the RAV4 is still more expensive. So, like always, we will award a half point per $1,000 of price difference. Well, there you have it. These two competitors each put up the biggest fight they could, and traded blows all the way through. Being this tight of a margin, it's hard to declare a definitive winner. But do keep in mind that if you have some extra dough to spend, then the RAV4 can be equipped with some features that the CR-V doesn't offer. Anyway guys, thanks for joining us for this car Confections comparison. And be sure to subscribe for more comparisons as well as our signature full review videos. Take care.